On this video, we are going to talk about foods that will help you unclog your arteries. So remember, everything I want to teach you here is about how powerful you are at healing yourself. And you can heal yourself through lifestyle. So if you are in a situation where you have been diagnosed with clogged arteries or you're worried about cardiovascular disease, I really want you to pay close attention to this video because there are some food choices that you can make that will really help not only slow the clogging of arteries, but will also reverse. And I want to show you some studies on this as well because it's really important. Second thing is those of you that have asked about the ketogenic diet, and your doctors have given you the answer of, oh, you shouldn't do keto because it's bad for your cardiovascular health, or you shouldn't do keto because it's hard on your liver or your plaquing of arteries. I'm going to explain and show you some studies why that is inaccurate. So I'm really excited to go through this information with you. So welcome, and let's dive in. Okay, for starters, this is the way I think of clogged arteries. You know, it's like your arteries are like a tube in which all the blood is going through. And when we're eating the wrong foods are pretty much the ultra-processed foods. So the ultra-processed foods are being highlighted over and over and over again. If you are not aware of how damaging these ultra-processed foods are, please, please educate yourself. Those of you who pre-ordered Eat Like a Girl, I have lists and lists and lists of the worst foods to eat for the human body. So you will get it in there. I just did a video on dementia and ultra-processed foods. But these foods, what they do is the body doesn't know how to handle them because they're man-made. They're not made by nature. So they're man-made, so the body can't break it down because they're chemical ridden. And so when body's not able to break down these chemicals, it stores it as fat. We've talked about that. But you also it starts to create this plaquing around your arteries, and it starts to create like gook that's on the artery wall, just like the plaquing that happens in your brain with Alzheimer's. This is all these ultra processed foods that the body doesn't know how to break down. So if we just take the fancy diagnoses out and we look at what exactly is happening, it's the fact that the body can't get rid of this cellular waste, so it stores it in other areas, and one of the places it stores it in is around the blood vessels. Okay, with that in mind, remember that as the blood vessel gets this plaquing on it, so does your blood pressure goes up. And as your blood pressure goes up, of course, now we have got what we call the medical term of atherosclerosis, which is the plaquing in the arteries plus blood pressure going up. So how do we slow this down? Hopefully you understand what to not do, but here's some interesting thing. And this was a large-scale 2022 review, found that if you ate the following foods, you can slow this down. You can slow down that plaquing. So our fruits and our vegetables, especially the high fiber ones, our olive oil, our legumes, these are your beans and your lentils, your nuts, or moving on, the next one is nuts, your omega-3 fats, these are your fatty fishes. Fish in general is great for slowing down atherosclerosis. Your low glycemic carbs. So, you know, I'm a fan of a low carb diet, but I'm a fan of moving to nature's carbs, getting off of man-made carbs. Anything that man is making, especially if it's in a lab, is destroying our health right now. So the low glycemic carbs are things like squashes and sweet potatoes. Grass-fed dairy, because it's high in omega-3s. This can be your Greek yogurt, your grass-fed butters, maybe you like raw grass-fed kefir. That's something that you'll find in my house all the time because it has so many good bacterias. And then same thing with raw cheese and yogurts. So all those grass-fed dairy can really be supportive of slowing down the plaquing on your artery walls. Now, the things, just so we're clear, I just want to be like, no more of this. Please save yourself. You can save yourself. Let's get off the refined carbohydrates. Let's get off the sugar. Let's get off the processed meats, which are your hot dogs and your deli meats. And let's get off conventional red meat. That is not grass-fed meat. That is conventional red meat. That is what's plaquing the inside of your artery walls. So let's get off of that and add in some of the beautiful things that nature has provided for us. Now, when it comes to keto and atherosclerosis, I want to dive into this, because I can tell you in my clinic, I used to get this question all the time where people their doctors were concerned about keto and its effect on the liver and cholesterol. And I want to end that concern right now. So you can pass this video off to your doctor, because I'm going to put some science in here and I'm going to link it so that your doctor can go and he or she can read it for themselves. So a 2023 review. So a review in science basically means they looked at other science research projects and they come back and they review it again. The review notes that while keto increases cholesterol, the main component of the arterial plaquing is actually lowers cardiovascular disease risk. So it may increase cholesterol. I would ask, make sure you're looking at your lab work. Is it increasing the good cholesterol? Because this 2023 review actually showed that it lowered cardiovascular disease risk. And it does this because the keto diet decreases arterial inflammation. That's just saying around the artery wall, inside that area where there's plaquing, there's inflammation that's building up your blood pressure. And the keto diet actually brings that inflammation down. So this is one of those things we've got to go into the nuance on this. So, and then this article went on to say that ketones provide rescue fuel for diseased hearts. So remember, and it does this by giving an alternative fuel source. So everything I've taught you in Fast Like a Girl, those of you that are getting Eat Like a Girl, this is all about your eating window. So it's available for pre-order right now. Everything I've taught you when it comes to building a fasting lifestyle is this metabolic switch. So when you make a decision to get off the ultra-processed foods, the refined carbohydrates, the toxic fat, the conventional meats, the processed meats, you're cleaning up your sugar burner system. When you add in the vegetables and the full-fat grass-fed dairy and the legumes and the olive oil, you're cleaning up your sugar burner system. When you learn to go keto, the way I've taught you, which is by fasting, you are metabolically switching over into the fat-burning fuel source. That's what this review is saying, is that when you clean this up and you learn to metabolically switch over into the ketogenic energy system, inflammation comes down, you slow the plaquing, and the ketone that you get from this other fuel, this other energy system, becomes rescue fuel for diseased hearts. The authors of this review actually went on to say that eliminating simple sugars, increasing healthy fats are also beneficial if you don't want to tack on a fasting lifestyle. But the whole goal is to bring inflammation down so that the pumping in of blood through these arteries becomes less damaging to your cardiovascular system. So we clean up sugar burner and we tack on fasting so we get that alternative fuel source. Now, interesting, because what I've just told you so far is how you slow down this plaquing in your arteries. Want to know how to reverse it? Okay, I got you some science. So this was a 2019 Hallmark review, meaning that, and again, I'm going to put the links in here, meaning that this is highly regarded as a phenomenal review. And it noted that the first evidence that you can actually, this review showed us that you can actually reverse the plaquing through diet. And what they suggested is the Mediterranean diet. That's what, if I had to give a label for what I just told you the Mediterranean diet. I just gave you specifics, and I told you attach it to a fasting lifestyle so you get keto. That metabolic switching of this Mediterranean diet makes you bulletproof for heart disease and plaquing in your arteries. So you're now getting all the benefits of food, and you're getting all the benefits of fasting. So what the researchers found in this hallmark review was that people eating a Mediterranean diet slowed arterial clogging, but when they added high fats like nuts into their diet, good nuts, their arteries actually unclogged. Okay, let's unpack the nut for a second. So when we look at nuts, whether it's almonds or cashews, how they take care of those nuts really matters. Walnuts are some of my favorite. If you dry roast them, you've taken good oils out of them. If you add oils and then cook them, they're not dry roasted, but they're actually roasted with oil. That's not good. That's actually where you're adding in the inflammatory. The best nut you can have is a raw, unpasteurized nut. Make sure it's not cooked, because if it's not cooked, it has all the enzymes in it. And this study, this Hallmark 2019 review, is showing us that actually those enzymes that are in nuts can actually unclog your arteries. So nuance is really important when it comes to nutrition. Okay, my baby's coming to you. Eat like a girl. You want to know the foods that will support hormones? Guess what? I have them for you already. It's a free giveaway. Just click the link above and I'll send you a list of all the foods that support amazing hormonal health. And the authors went on to say that if they had to choose some food for you for this unclogging, what they would say is nuts and seeds. I just did, by the way, for my women out there, I just did a really cool interview on the Resetter podcast with 2 women that have a seed business that do seed cycling to help with hormones. So you can go check that out. We'll leave a link in here. Other good sources of fats are avocado, olive oil. Olives are amazing. They're a fasting favorite. You can have olives in your fasting window, and often they don't spike your blood sugar. And then chocolate. So you don't have to be deprived to unclog your arteries. You just have to know what to do. So there you go. There's a really good food list. I really recommend you take the foods that I taught you, that you tack on a fasting window and fast like a girl. I give you 6 different length fasts. Pick one of those and learn to metabolically switch so you can save yourself. But most importantly, get off the ultra-processed foods. They are killing you. And there's no medication alive that's going to save you as long as you keep toxifying yourself with the ultra-processed foods. So I believe in you. You got this. You have the power to reverse whatever diagnosis, whatever damage is happening to you. You have the power to reverse it, and it will come through a pill called diet. You got this. Okay, if you loved this video, you're going to want to check out the next video of my food series. On this video, want to talk about the healthy foods that you might be eating that will stop you from a long and healthy life.